So what are we all doing here in Venice? What am I doing here in Venice when I have never met a pigeon that I liked? What are they doing here? All these people, millions and millions of them come here every year for centuries now. Well, I have a hunch that most people who come here actually come here with the idea that they may find something that they've never known before. Certainly they will never find anywhere else anything quite like the Venetian Carnival, or Carne Valley, which means flesh farewell. After one last riotous feast, 40 days of Lent, 40 days of austerity and no flesh devoured. Today's Venetians, or would-be Venetians, say goodbye to the flesh for 2 whole weeks, to the immense joy of the Ministry of Tourism. With music, with dancing, with costumes, with masks. The object is to see but not be seen, to suspect but not to know. Mystery, ambiguity, anonymity, and theoretically, anything goes. Venice is water, Venice is glass, Venice is reflection. When glass reflects water and water glass, the effect is magical and strange. Do I wake or sleep? There is something definitely dreamlike, even surrealistic about Venice. For one thing, it's always seen twice. Once reflected, once real. A city is like any other living organism. It is born, it grows, it reproduces itself, and it dies. Or else it adjusts to new conditions. Venice was once a world capital. Now it is a sort of Disneyland. But the city itself is still pretty much as it was. Only the people who were here then are not here now. They are gone. And obviously with time, all things grow old. Even so, the 20th century is kept firmly at bay. That is Mestre over there on the mainland, a great industrial city, a source of wealth and pollution. It is also where a great many Venetians work. But here on these islands in the lagoon, Venice is largely unchanged. What we see today is pretty much what people have seen for centuries. The Ca d'Oro, or House of Gold, was built in the 15th century, Venice's golden age, long since vanished, along with its serene republic, its vast maritime empire, its glory and legendary wealth. The shell of Venice is as it used to be. But inside the shell, all is changed. Inside the Cadoro today, there is an austere museum with whitewashed walls. The inner spirit has fled, along with the creators. Most of the palaces along the Grand Canal are equally deceptive. The Palazzo Dario, for instance, is as showy in its own way as the Cadoro. But again, it is all exterior. In fact, during the late 19th century, it was a boarding house much frequented by American bachelors, while in the late 20th century, it was, for a time, the property of the manager of The Who. These palaces were built 500 years ago, but then practically all of the Venice that we see now is from that era, when time just stopped at a moment of splendor, like a freeze frame. It was also in the 15th century that the Venetians forgot their own good advice about cultivating the sea and leaving the land alone. They moved onto the mainland. They acquired the alpine region of Friuli, where there was a good deal of timber for their ships and an undistinguished family of apothecaries named Vidal. They occupied the cities of Bergamo, Brescia, Verona, and Vicenza, where the architect Palladio lived. In the next century, Palladio was kept busy building country houses for Venetian nobles who were now very seriously landed gentry. For me, the most haunting of all these villas is Masser, which Palladio built for the Barbaro family. A Venetian palace, no matter how splendid, was always a place of work, a headquarters for trade, even a warehouse. But now that the Venetians are on the mainland, everything is changed. Officially, this is a farmhouse, but plainly it is a house for pleasure. The heirs are spending the money that their hustler forebears made. The architecture, the sculpture, reflect the change in mood. It is light, airy, classical, harmonious, balanced. Nothing Byzantine here. This is imperial Rome, reborn. The real magic, of course, is inside. This is a real, somewhat irritable woman, wife to the painter himself, Paolo Veronese.